Cracking Thai in 10 Sentences, episode number 5. This is where I generate a random set of 10 sentences from over 4,000 of the most amazingly super useful sentences that have been curated by David Martin. I don't know what the sentences are going to be. I've made this interface. I'll be showing the first 3 sentences on YouTube. We go deep. And if you want to see the whole 10, we'll come to jacademy.com. You can buy the Cracking Thai in 10 outright, or for anyone who subscribes to the Unlimited Thai Bundle or Minecraft, of course, well then you get access to everything. And right now, there are hours of content in this series alone, but there are hundreds of pieces of content there. This is the interface I've built. If you'd like to learn how to build an interface like this, of course, we teach it in Minecraft, learning not only the linguistic skills, but the tech skills, so you can get the most out of language. Fetch random 10. You can see it running in the background. And I'm really serious about that. We have an amazing group of people who really want to learn language. Not just Thai, all different languages. We've got native speakers of different languages that help each other. But Minecraft, if you're really serious about learning a language, is the program for. And there we go. We have our 10 sentences up there. I'm not going to look at what's actually come up. I'm just going to let them hit me one by one and give you my gut reaction and see how deep we can go. It's not how much vocabulary you've got, but it's how you use it. Let's have a look at the first sentence. So this is sentence 3,787 out of a pool of 4,000 sentences. It comes from set 190, so these sentences come in groups of 20. Sometimes they're related, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're loosely related. So sometimes we'll be going down here just to see if there is a context, and this is sentence number 7. There you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, highlighted in blue. Sentence number 1, เราไม่อดตาย. Awesome vocabulary here. So here we go, Rao. Now, Rao is an interesting word. Anybody who's learned Thai for even a month or two, you would know that Rao means us, we. However, as you go deeper into the pronouns, you will find that Rao can be used for I, first person pronoun. Actually, if anybody's learned Glossica with Mike Campbell, glossica.com, it's an amazing series there. When he was first doing it, and we were discussing what's the best pronoun to put in there, because actually in Thai, if you're doing these spaced repetitions, it's hard to build a course for it because any sentence you use, the pronoun's going to change depending on age, power, and relationship, all of this. We came to the decision that Rao was probably the safest bet if you're wanting a first-person pronoun that is going to be fairly neutral. It sounds kind of awkward sometimes, but sometimes it's normal. So here, Rao, it doesn't give away gender, and it could mean us, or it could mean just me. Now here, the word Rao may ot. Have a look at this word here, ot. I just want to mention a couple of things, especially for foreign learners of Thai, and especially for native English speakers. If you see this letter here, or ang and dodek, I was speaking to a Thai teacher just this last week, and they asked me, what is the actual consonant sound of or ang? And my answer is, there is none. Or ang is a concept, and you cannot compare Thai letters to English letters. Thai letters come from an abugida versus an alphabet. So if you've learned Cracking Thai Fundamentals, if not, go and subscribe to it and buy the book. You would learn that consonants and vowels are different species. Vowels breathe life into consonants. So if you think of a consonant as this seed that doesn't have anything, and it's this seed that contains all the DNA to throat actions and throat positions, whether it's in the back of the throat, the palate, the roof of the mouth, the teeth, or the lips. Okay, so this is this seed with the DNA information of what the sound's going to sound like. And it's only the vowel that then brings it to life. And then the actions, whether it's stopped throat at the beginning, whether it's got aspiration, whether it's a semi-vowel, any of these, this is all embedded in the DNA of that consonant. And so what o-ang is the concept of the base throat. It means that something is starting from this base throat. It's not a k, it's not a t, it's not a ch. It's the base throat position. And what the rule is, if there is no vowel symbol and you've got two consonants stuck together, well, for Thai, the default vowel is o. In Sanskrit, it's a, but in Thai, it's o. And so because you've got o-ang, no other consonant, no other vowel symbol here, then a dor dek, then the life that's breathed into that consonant, basically it means start from the throat and do this o vowel. So is o-ang here a vowel or a consonant? It's neither. It is a concept of the base throat. And then that pattern, this frame here, means that you add the o vowel to it. It's a bit abstract, but this is actually how we think about consonants and vowels in any Indic Abugida. When I say Indic Abugida, compass here, and so here we've got Thai, and you can see all of these languages here use it and more. So Devanagari, Kakagat, they all use this system. So these are consonants, but don't think of these as actually having life until a vowel is added to it. Just add water, just add vowels. So let's get back to this. เราไม่อดตาย. So the reason I said that, I hear a lot of foreigners, when they see this o-ang, think that it's an o, and they would say เราไม่อดตาย. It's not ot, it's ot. Ot. Say it with me. Your lips are closed and it's short. Ot. I'll do a comparison. Ot, 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 ot. Can you see the difference? If you wanted the sound ot, this fast ot sound, say in the word got, samui is the fast ot, except it's got a consonant at the end, ot. You would actually have to have two o-angs there, and then you would have mete ku to shorten the vowel. And so that second o-ang would be actually breathing life into that first o-ang in its abugida consonant position. And then you've got the shortener. So it'd be o shortened to ot. But this is not ot, it's ot. Listen to the sound. Ot. I'll do them in contrast once more. You really need to get this. Ot, ot. Ot, 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 ot. And again, because it's dead and this is the throat, it means it's a middle class, it's a low tone. So, ot, ot. Your throat drops down. What does ot mean? It means to refrain from. Think of the word abstinence. This is ot. So, ot gin khao means you didn't eat. Maybe you skipped the meal. That is ot gin khao. Supposing you were in the middle of a fight and you really wanted to say something that was on your mind, and then the fight passed and you went home and you think, oh, ot put. I didn't get the opportunity to say what I wanted to say, or somebody wouldn't allow me to say it. That's ot put. So ot is to refrain from or to abstain from. And here, tai, tai means death. Ta ayo. It's this long vowel, common tone, tai, ot tai. So low tone, common tone, ot tai, ot tai. So to refrain from and tai, to die. So for example, if you are starving, going without food, ot gin khao, and then as a consequence of that, you die, that would be ot tai. And so this is used often very metaphorically. If somebody doesn't get what they want, someone might say, จะไม่อดตายหรอก. You're not going to die just from not doing that. So this is whatอดตายmeans in this context. It doesn't literally mean die, but it's just metaphorically. So เราจะไม่อดตาย. Here, what do they translate? We're not going to starve to death. We're not starving to death. But here, ot, okay, they've used starving, but ot could mean anything. Maybe it's going without money, or maybe it could be anything. Wow, look at that. This is only sentence number 1, but it's so rich. Only just a handful of words, but there are so many lessons there. That's why I say for this series here, it's one of the best collections of normal vocab I've ever seen. It's not how much vocab you have, it's how you use it. Look at how we use that. Sentence number. This is something you're going to hear all the time. Wow, we've talked in many clips from the Chinese word hua, literally mean to talk, speech. It's also a connector word in Thai. So he said that. This is the one that, so that word in English would also be translated as wa, เขาบอก wa, he said that or she said that. But here, wa literally means the speech. So for example, somebody calls me, I know who it is, and I say, wa ngai. It's like, what's up? What have you got to say for yourself? What do you want to say to me? That's wa ngai. Ngai from the word อย่างไร, how, gets shortened to ยังไง, then the yang drops off. It gets shortened again to ngai. So, wa ngai. Here you've got that ngongu again in the back of your throat. So, wa ngai. So, wa ngai by itself means, what's up? What you got to say? But here, this particle makes all the difference. Na. What na actually is I'm checking for confirmation back from whoever it is that I'm speaking to. Very often I might be wanting confirmation or affirmation that what I think they meant with what they said is correct. So this one na, and the person would say, yeah, that's right. Here, wa ngai na, I'm actually saying, wa ngai, what did you say? Na, I want to check back exactly what you said because I probably didn't hear it right the first time. As opposed to just saying off the bat, wa ngai. So you've got wa ngai, what's up? What you got to say? But wa ngai na, that na particle lets me know that something has already been said, and na, it probably means I didn't understand it properly, I didn't get it, maybe I didn't hear properly, and I'm wanting them to say it again. So it's like saying, come again? So wa ngai na, next sentence. Sentence number 3, number 884, และอื่นๆ อีกมากมาย Okay. You'll see this all the time. So in English, you'll often hear people say, etc., etc., etc. That basically is และอื่นๆ. I think it's worth mentioning here. Look at this, how this is written. We have และอื่น. That's a low tone, by the way, and และ is a high tone, and it's short. และ You've got to be really careful. If you speak with somebody who comes from Isan, the northeast of Thailand, very often their sala might be moved forward and it would sound closer to so they might say le, and you can hear that on people in central Thailand who have perhaps learned from someone from Isan, and sometimes there might be a stigma attached to it. At the very least, sometimes there will be misunderstanding because the word la means and, the word le means splattered. So if somebody just went splat, or you got beaten up and your face had blood all over it, that would be called le. It's just a mess. It's a splattered mess, as opposed to la. So I'm going to say these two words next to each other. I will say the word splattered versus and. Ready? Le, la, le, la. So you got it splattered, in the front, and at further back. Make sure you get that distinction there. And both of them are high tone, short vowels. It's not la, it's la, le, la, le, la. Make sure you get it right. And then because you've got a may egg, again, drop your throat down, low down. So la un. And of course, this means you double it. If you have a look here from Khmer, this is actually a stylized version of the number 2. It just means double. If you speak Indonesian, you'd know if you wanted to say apa-apa, you could just write the word apa and then the number 2, apa-apa. This is basically doing the same thing but using a stylized version of the Thai or Khmer numeral 2. So la un, and other, which means etc., etc. And then อีกมากมาย Okay, so อีก means more, มาก a lot, มาย is basically an alliteration of มาก มากมาย means just a ton of stuff. So อีกมากมาย and a whole lot more. และอื่นๆ อีกมากมาย. Let's see how they've translated, and so on, and many more, and more others. Yeah, basically any time you want to say etc., or you've just got something very ambiguous, you would throw that in. To say etc. in English, or even to write it officially in any kind of document, is not really good usage of language. It's discouraged, but you'll actually hear this a lot, even in more formal situations in Thai. It's like saying etc., etc., etc. And as a coach, early on as a Dale Carnegie coach for presentations in Thai, and later on running many presentation workshops with executives, I will try and knock this out of their Thai language when presenting. No, not just ik mak mai. You either say what it is that the mak mai is, or you just don't say it. You be specific. Because what happens is then they translate this back into English, and it sounds like, one, they're speaking in cliched speech, not very professional speech, saying etc., 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 and they're not getting to the point. So this is also a cultural issue. It's a way of thinking issue. และอื่น อีกมากมาย and a whole lot of other stuff. But honestly, if you're giving a professional presentation, even though you'll hear other Thais use it, maybe try and think of other ways that you can say what you need to say without saying etc, etc. So there you go. That's the first three. For the people in YouTube, I'm going to leave you here. If you want to see the rest in this set and all of the others from the other sets, come to jacademy.com. I have the program up there. You can get access to all of them. This is becoming such a rich set. If you haven't bought the Cracking Thai Fundamentals book yet, we'll click in the link below and order the book because you'll get the full foundation of what I've been speaking about here. Come into the program, and if you really want to learn, well, Minecraft is the program for you. So for YouTube land, I'm Stuart J. Raj. I'll see you on the other side. And for those who are staying on, let's go to sentence number 4. So this is sentence 2093, sentence number 4 for this set. And it is long kit do. Okay, this is interesting. Remember how we just said about the short o. Here, because or-ang is in this position, that is the actual vowel frame. So if you've got a consonant, then an or-ang, then it performs the role of a vowel r, open, not or, but r. And then we have ngo. This literally means to try, to attempt something. So long. And then we have kit do. Kit is an interesting word. It literally means to think, but it can also mean to calculate. So for example, the word for number, lek. And so เครื่องคิดเลข, the machine that counts numbers, is a calculator. So kit is this basically cognitive thinking or going through something. So it could mean to think or to calculate something through. And then the word do means to look. Notice it's not do, it's do เธอทำ. Okay, so this is a famous song. Do, I don't have any spit over the top of that D. Do, it's do. Kit do is basically like saying, imagine that. So you'll often see this in Thai where you'll have do or maybe some other verb, some other sensory verb that comes after whatever the verb is, the main verb is, to complement it. So kit do, just imagine that. So to think and then maybe see what the result of that thing is or try and imagine the picture of it. Jintanakan, by the way, that's a bonus word, means to imagine. Jintanakan. So kit do, just imagine. So imagine if I had $1 million in my hand right now. คิดดูถ้ามี1 ล้านบาทในมือเดี๋ยวนี้ Okay, so this is คิดดู, just imagine. And then long is again just a complementary word to that, complementary with an e. It complements the คิดดู. So just try and think, just imagine. What does it say down here? Think about it. Yeah, long kit do. So I guess you could say it in that sense as well. So maybe you've given an offer to something. They don't have to make a decision right now. Long kit do. Have a think about it and then get back to me. So pretty easy, 3 words, but it's actually deep and it's not at all the way we would say this in English. We would use probably different words, different structures. But in Thai, long kit do. For me, long kit do, I wonder what the next sentence is. Next sentence. So sentence number 5. เป็นลางร้าย This is pretty straightforward. เป็น here we've already learnt in many other sentences. เป็น is to be. So it is. Lang actually has several meanings, but lang in this sense is basically an omen. So you can have a good omen, lang di, and a bad omen. Lang rai in this sense is bad. Lang di, good omen, lang rai, bad omen. This word rai here, you'll hear in a lot of sentences. So we have the word jai, we've learnt in many other sentences before, meaning your heart or your mind. So jai di, to have a good heart. The opposite of jai di would be jai lai, and you'll often hear maybe people say, jai lai, you're so mean, you're so bad. Jai lai, this is lang rai. If you want to say the situation is really bad or you're just being terrible, hot rai, hot means terrible, just really, really bad. And then rai is bad. So these things go together again. So hot rai, this person's really bad. Hot rai, that's just really mean. You'll hear that a lot. Not a lot more to say on this, but ben lang rai. If something's happened and people are superstitious about it, you will probably hear this. Ben lang rai, it's a bad omen. Sentence number 6, เสียใจด้วย. Oh, that's strange. The phonetic didn't come out. I'll put this in afterwards. เสียใจด้วย Why does it say ma? I do not know. เสีย means to lose, to suffer the loss of. ใจ again, we just had ใจ I mentioned it. ใจร้าย เสียใจ to lose heart, which means I'm sorry. So here, literally, to lose heart. So in this context, it would probably mean I'm sorry. But เสียใจ could also mean offended. It might also mean that I've been let down. เสียใจ any time where something's happened to make you feel negative, to evoke negative feelings, that would be เสียใจ. So disappointment, anything like that would be เสียใจ. And then here, ด้วย. This is a very Thai way of saying things. So ด้วย means also. So you've got this and then you have something ด้วย, something as well. All right. So ด้วย. I want you to think of this because you use this in a lot of different circumstances that you wouldn't use English. For example, เสียใจด้วย. In English, you would say, I feel disappointed too, or I'm sorry too. But you'll often hear ด้วย tagged at the end like this, which you just don't hear in English. So, for example, if you say, I want to go to, ไปด้วย. The weird structure that you'll really get is to say something ด้วย and then whatever the measure word is. So, I'm a person, so the measure words for people is คน. So, if I really wanted to say, I want to go to, I would say ไปด้วยคน. This is very Thai. ไปด้วยคน. ไป go ด้วย also คน another human, which is me. It sounds really weird when you break it down like that into English, but it sounds very natural in Thai. So ไปด้วยคน another person going to, which means me. I want to go to. Here เสียใจด้วย เสียใจด้วย. I'm sorry too. I'm disappointed too. And so often you'll hear people say something and the word ด้วย at the end, meaning this is my little addition to the situation, I guess. It's a very Thai structure, and it's a structure that many learners of Thai won't really use because it's just not intuitive from English. So the opposite of เสียใจด้วย would be ดีใจด้วย ดีใจ happy, feeling good, ใจด้วย ดีใจด้วย. So if something good happened to somebody, ดีใจด้วย. Now, sometimes it's said sarcastically. So perhaps you have this schadenfreude, ill feeling towards somebody and ดีใจด้วย I'm happy for you. So it could be said like that sarcastically. But anyway, เสียใจด้วย ดีใจด้วย because we're going to the next sentence. Sentence number 7, number 1191 from the 4000 sentences. ชอบกินมาก. This is very basic vocabulary. ชอบกินมาก. Here, the word ชอบ in this context means to like. Chob actually has some very fascinating and deep meanings. For example, chob tam, ไม่เห็นชอบ. So, for example, if you're in court or if there's a bill being passed in parliament and you have the people who agree with it or the people who don't agree with it or the people who have come on the side of the defendant or whatever, people who would agree would be chob tam. So it's more than just like. It's basically this innate ethical feeling of positivity towards something. ไม่ชอบธรรม would be the opposite. So to have not passed it or do not agree with it. But here ชอบ people are taught it means to like and you can think of it like that. So ชอบ to like, กิน eat. An interesting point on the word กิน. There was a post going viral in Thai social media over this past year about the word กิน to eat and ทาน. Tan is a word that many Thais might say, ทานข้าวหรือยัง? Have you eaten yet? From the word รับประทาน to ทาน. But the word ทาน doesn't literally mean to eat. But many people, like putting on airs, will substitute the word กินข้าว out for ทานข้าว. And actually, this is incorrect. ทาน does not mean to eat. It literally means to give from รับประทาน. But here, Gin is the real Thai word for eat. So people who actually know their Thai will never say ทานข้าว. They'll say กินข้าว to eat. There are actually other levels of eat as well. I'll say it here because it's for learning. แดก. It's really bad. It's almost like saying the C word in English. This is animals eating. So if you want to offend somebody, if you want to offend the chef, you refer to the act of eating as แดก or แดกข้าว. It sounds really bad. It's really crass. So this is just for learning purposes. Listen, don't use it. That's do, go, and it's really bad. By the way, da. You can see this has come from a glottalized N, and we know that N's, R's, and L's are all interchangeable. So often when people want to say da cow or da, to sound bad, but say it as a euphemism or say it actually nicely without saying the full word, that the might turn into a le. So they'll say lag. So how do you like your food? Lag ไม่ลง tastes like shit. It means lag, dag, กินไม่ลง. It can't even go down past my throat. So กินไม่ลง, dag ไม่ลง. But that's really, really strong language and be prepared for a fight. If you use language like that, this is just for learning purposes. And then มาก so ชอบกินมาก a lot. So I like to eat it a lot. I love them. I love it. So this is obviously in the context of food. What does it say down here in context? ไม่อยากรู้ I don't want to know. ผมชอบกินมะม่วง I like eating มะม่วง mangoes. And here ชอบกินมะม่วงหรือ do you like eating mangoes? ชอบกินมาก I like eating them a lot. This is one time where finally we do actually get some kind of consistency, some kind of linkage between the sentences in this set here. So you can actually see, I like eating mangoes. Do you like eating them? So here it's saying, I like eating mangoes. You like eating mangoes? Yeah, I like them a lot. ชอบกินมาก This is the context. What's the next one? ผมไม่ชอบกิน I don't like eating มะม่วง mangoes. น่ากินOh, น่ากิน that's another interesting sentence. น่า means it's worth doing. น่ากิน so that's worth eating, which means it's really yummy. I really want to eat. And น่ากินจังเลย so if you see really good food brought up on the table, น่ากินจังเลย wow, that looks fantastic. I really want to eat it. But here, ชอบกินมาก I really like eating it a lot. And in the context we just saw down there, it's in relation to มะม่วง which actually comes from หมากม่วง. Mangoes. Mak is this generic fruit term, which is a traditional Thai Lao word. Next sentence. Sentence number 8, which is 3057. อยากออกไปเดินเล่น Okay, so อยาก that's low tone. ออก อยากออก knock your throat down. I want to go out. ออก to go out. There are so many meanings of ออก. I don't think I'll cover the other meanings like พูดออก, to be able to say something, ฟังออก, to be able to understand what you hear. So ออก is literally mean to be released. I guess I am describing it. So ฟังออก, ฟัง to hear, ออก. So whatever I hear, ออก, it's released to my understanding. ดู to see something, ดู ออก. So maybe you're looking at a Picasso painting, trying to figure out what it is. ดู ออก แล้ว I can make out what it is. Or if you remember those 3D pictures, those stereograms, and they just look like random dots until you do ออก. I can see what it is now. It's a fish, it's a shark, whatever it was. ดูออก. ดูออกแล้ว. Maybe it's a fish or it's a bridge or a boat, whatever it was in those stereograms. So that would be ดูออก ฟังออก. But here ออก is the literal going out. So อยากออกไป ออกไป. So by, again, is this vector word. If you haven't got Cracking Thai Fundamentals, get the book, get the course, because that's one of my 11 words. ออกไป by vector word. So to go out, เดินเล่น เดิน, again, this Khmer word for walk, เดิน, and เล่น. เล่น literally means fun, to play. พูดเล่น, I'm just joking, speak, fun speaking. But here เดินเล่น is going out for something just for the sake of the enjoyment of it. We also have the word เที่ยว. So you have เดินเที่ยว ไปเที่ยว เที่ยว literally means like a trip, a sortie that is not for work, I guess. So เที่ยว, I guess the French word would be a sortie, to go out on a mission or go out on a trip somewhere. So you can เดินเที่ยว as opposed for going somewhere for business, you would เดินเที่ยว or ไปเที่ยว. You're actually going for leisure. เดินเล่น, you're going out for enjoyment or leisure again. So you could เดินเที่ยว เดินเล่น. เที่ยว is more like a full trip. Maybe you're going on a holiday overseas. That would ไปเที่ยว. Whereas เดินเล่น, maybe you're just going to the shopping center to walk around for a bit and just do some window shopping or whatever. That's เดินเล่นเล่น. Again, you can double the word just to make it lighter. เดินเล่นเล่น. So อยากออกไปเดินเล่น I just need to get out and have a walk around. What did I say here? I want to go for a walk. I want to take a stroll. Yeah. Sentence number 9. ว่าแล้วเชียว Okay, so we had ว่าไง before, and now we have ว่าแล้วเชียว Okay, so ว่า I mentioned from the Chinese word ว่า speech, talk, language. And so ว่าแล้ว again from the Chinese word เหลียว something already happened in the past. ว่าเหลียว ว่าแล้วว่าเหลียวว่าแล้ว so similar actually in Cantonese ว่า is ว่า even more similar. But anyway, ว่าแล้ว I told you so. เชียว Chiao is like this additional particle. It's like saying, I just knew it. Wow, chiao. It's almost like this onomatopoeic sort of sound that you're making. It's a particle just to add this, I just knew it. Wow, chiao. So what did I say here? I knew it. I thought so, just as I thought. Yeah, you'll often hear this just thrown in the end. It's like saying, I knew it. Not a lot more to say. See if you can find some circumstances to throw that word chiao in and let me know in the comments or in the discussion in Discord. Let's look at the last sentence. Last sentence, ไปดูหน่อยได้ไหมครับ? Can I go and have a look? So ไปดู, we've got ไป, we've looked at already. Do, we've looked at already. It's amazing how much repetition. หน่อย. I mentioned in the last clip, we have น้อย, a little bit or few, diminutive, and หน่อย, which actually is a sentence lighter. So ไปดูหน่อย. Can I just go and have a look? ได้ไหม? Now in spoken, this ไหม might become ไหม with a high tone, and sometimes you'll see it spelled มอมไม่อากาศยอยักษ์ไม่โทไหมครับ and ครับ is a guy speaking. So ไปดูหน่อยได้ไหมครับ? Can I go and have a look? Can I go and see? Is it okay if I go and see and it's a guy speaking if it was a lady? ไปดูหน่อยได้ไหมคะ? Okay, ค่ะ woman, ครับ guy. May I go and have a look? Can I go and see it? Yeah, so I don't know what the context is in here. ขอคิดก่อนนะ. Can I think about it first? ไปดูหน่อยได้ไหมครับ? So maybe you're buying a car and you're talking to them over the phone and you're thinking, I just want to go and have a look at it. Can I go and have a look at it first before I make a decision to buy? ไปดูหน่อยได้ไหมครับ? ก่อนที่จะซื้อ before I'm going to buy it? Sure. ได้เลย Sure. No problem. ได้เลย So not a lot to say actually from this. Even though it's quite long, we've covered a lot of this vocabulary in past clips. I highly recommend you go through that. If you really want to get into language at this level and you're enjoying the depth of this series, I really encourage you come and join Minecraft. I've put the price there. It's $1,000 basically for the year, but you are going to get everything you need articulation-wise, thought-wise, language-wise, tech-wise, and the community and sessions with us live each week when we're doing the sessions during the terms. So you'll be able to actually push your language like we're doing here, ask questions, and really get it to fluency rather than just passive learning and not getting this depth into the language, whether it's Thai or any other language. Obviously, you're looking at this, you're learning Thai, but you might find that you can apply it to other languages. So I just say at the end of this, come to Minecraft if you're not subscribed already. It's really, really worth it, and you're going to realize your language goals a lot faster. This was Cracking Thai in 10 Sentences. I'm Stuart J. Raj. I'll see you on the other side.